This is a webinar now for custom application mainly, and also for the contact application. That's not a big one, but we'll take it in the same, since it's very related to this customer application. So I'm going to be the presenter. That is Sverre Tveit, and I'm product responsible for the CRM module in RamBase, together with technical product owner Kamil Polikevich. He's not joining us today because he is in Sri Lanka, but he will see the recordings afterwards. And we will talk about the new customer application. We will also see the new contact application. And as I said, this will be recorded, so people can see it who's not joining in. And what we like to do is that questions can be taken at the end. If you have it during the session, put it in the chat, and maybe people from RamBase can answer you, or we will follow up in the end of the webinar. You can also send questions to me on my email. That is sverre.tveit@hatland.com, or you can also use the tickets, the service tickets as usual, the HLDs. Okay. The customer application is a very broad application that is having interest areas from all over RamBase. So a lot of people is visiting this application, maybe not using it too much, but a lot of people know it and have been using it for some extent. And now this is a part of the CRM enhancement that we have done. We have earlier had webinars for task, note, and opportunity. And now it's then the customer application and also then contact. What we have done, it's we have rectified it, as we call it. That's the new way of making the new application in RamBase. But I think that most existing users will recognize how it looks like and how to use it, with better possibilities now with HTML5 Rex functions. One of the main things now that you can reorder tabs, and you can also the tabbing will be remembered when you are logging on next time. So if you reorder or you have focus on one specific tab for the area you're working in, this will be remembered until next time as well. So that's very nice. You don't have to click your favorite tab each time. This will be in focus if you left it there last time. And we're going to see that we add an overview tab now with timelines, figures, charts, widgets, and more. And we have made a connection with Brønnøysund, then for Norwegian companies. But it's also possible to connect to other countries' similar services. This is for collecting then customer information from registers. I don't know how they're doing in other countries, but it's possible to connect to also other sources here. There's a connection between invoice and shipping address, so that they are synced. Transactions have been splitted. They are much the same as before, but we now split it to make it more accurate and more correct. And we now also have access control on all of these and all parts of the customer application. What is not been done in this new application now is that rental and finance has not been updated, these parts of this customer application, because they have not ready APIs yet. So we still have some legacy left there, I'm sad, but that's how it is. And we have added notes, task, and opportunity is now added to the collaboration and incorporated then into the customer application, and it's much easier than to use it and see data for this part as well. So now we see that the CRM is coming more to the front user. And we have moved all settings in one common tab that's called settings. And we have below this level, of course, other groupings, that we will come back to that one. And we have also now implemented all auction functions into this standard customer application. Before we had one customer application for auction, and that's not a good solution. So now we have one common for every of our users, all of our customers. And there's also now possibilities to add custom user-defined fields to customer application. That is for each company, each database in RamBase, you can have your own set of fields. Okay, for the contact application, yeah, it's very related to the customer application. And the same here, it's Rexified. It's a new way of making applications. And it's much simpler now to add new contacts and also edit info on them, should be much easier. We have also removed a lot of fields that is not necessary. And there is no more tabs here. We have a web tab that some of you are using, only a few of you, but this is now on a menu choice, a right mouse button. So yeah, we'll have a short view on the contact as well. For the customer, I have done it that I have taken each of the tabs in the new customer application and I present those. And this presentation will mainly be on PowerPoint. It's much more effective and easy to point out the important stuff. And here is the new header for the customer application. You have this to the left is the main data of the customer with the name and address information, phone numbers, emails, enterprise number, and you can edit it by pressing this icon here. Then you can go in and edit this information. In the middle, you have this set message. This message, in, as you know from before, with the red text. This is now here, and you have, if you have blockings on the customer, this will also show here, just an information, and you can see information in these two fields by mouse over. Then you can just hover it, and you will see what information is in it for both of them. This is controlled by a CMI, a menu, right mouse button, or in the top right, and blocking is in the settings, or you can also edit it in this view. And to the right is the known key figures for customers as before, with now possibilities to inspect them by clicking on them. Then you will be taken to reports and applications behind them. And if you want to edit the customer, this is the new application, how did this look like. With you can choose between business and private customers. For all of our customers, business will be default, except for auction houses. They will have a setting that they will have a private customer as default when you create new customers. But this we can change for you if you want. But default is business for everybody except the auction business. And then the next is, as before, name and last name and so on. So there's no changes here. Okay. And here we have the new overview as a customer overview. What we saw now at first, these key figures, sorry. These in the top here will be common for all of the tabs. So wherever you are in the customer application, this will always be visible. So now next we will show each tab and we just stripped away the top. Here is the new overview of customer. So this is showing three parts. You have to the left a timeline, which are showing RamBase documents like sales invoice, they're showing notes, and they're showing activities, tasks. And if you have more than one, say, invoice per each day, it's grouped on day here. You see you have 4 sales invoice registered, meaning that this day you had 4 of this, and they just show a number back. So don't show every of them, but you see a grouping for each day for each document. And you can also choose a period here to see documents for last year or 2 years behind or whatever. So you have a possibility there. And you can also choose between documents what to see in this timeline. I'm going to show that afterwards. Then you have the charts. Today, if you have a normal solution, we have two charts in the view. So we can choose between different charts and different grouping of periods and also chart types. So here we have, say, a 5-year period with the stacked bar. And you can, I'm going to show different kinds of charts that is available today. And of course, it's possible also to make new ones here. This is just a start. And next, we have the key figures. And to the right, there's some widgets. These shows, for now, we have 4 default ones. And there's no problem making new ones, but these are the first 4. and they are showing active opportunities, active tasks, shipping advices shipped this month, and delayed sales orders, and you can inspect them by clicking on them. Then you will be taken to the correct application showing the documents behind it. Of course, you need access to see data behind it. For now, most of people who have access to view customer will see this information that is in the first page here, with key figures and overview and everything. Otherwise, there will be a lot of red toast messages, arrow messages to the right that you're missing this and this and this access. So this is why if you have view a customer, then you'll also have the possibility to view quite some information on the customer, but only view access. Okay, for the timeline, like I said, you have different kind of documents and they are grouped on day. So here we have the 17th of January, we had 4 sales invoices. And then you can see that if you click it, you can see those 4, and you can inspect each 4 of them if you want to, by clicking this black box with the arrow in. For notes, there will only be for each note, so that's not grouping. And here is a list of what you can choose to see in the timeline. You can see sales invoice, sales orders, requests, quotes, and requests for quotes. And you have also shipping advice, notes, and below there is also opportunities. I think we're going to remove this scrolling, so you will see everything in one view. But opportunity is also added in the list. So then you can choose what documents you want to see in the timeline, what is of your interest. This will be for each user, not for the company, but for each user, of course. And you can also choose for what period do I want to see these documents. If you want to view back last year or something, you can do that. Say 2 years back or something. Yes, you see 1 year, last year, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and 3 years ago. Next up is the charts. We have, like I said, if you have a normal solution, you have 2 charts you can use to say components. And you can see now that I have here two different views, and those will not be available in this list. But if I choose another one here, then this sales invoice by month will be available again. So this is showing what you're not using of today's possibilities of grids, now of charts, sorry. And dependent on what chart data you chose, you can also switch between bar and bar stacked. Some of them are pie charts, so this will be dependent on what chart your data you're selecting here. And of course here as well you can also choose periods for some of those different charts. Yes, and the key figures, like I said, this is the 4 default ones, but it's possible to make new ones. We have some people have come in with their wishes here, so maybe there will be new ones. But if your company has some needs they want to have here, it should be quite easy to implement, and if the functionality behind them is not too complex. Yes, so for the timeline, the overview, the timeline is then a list of documents, the group per day, and it's showing opportunities, tasks, and notes. And you can choose what you want to see, what's of your interest for each user. And you have charts with 2 components, and you have different documents and type of charts to choose between, and also different timelines dependent on chart selected. And you also have the widgets with clicking possibilities. Okay, then we have the contacts. It's pretty much the same as before, but what you see here is an enhanced way of editing data now. For existing contacts on a customer, it's now possible to change data here. If you see a pencil, then you can change the data behind it. So if you want to change the phone number, you can just click the pencil and edit directly into the grid. This can be done for job title, phone, and email. And you can also, if a title is missing, if you hover this field, then you will have a plus sign. This will be for all these fields. Then you can also add this information directly into the grid. So that's very quick and efficient. A lot less clicking than before. And you can inspect the contact, of course, by using these arrows or double click. There are two ways of adding contacts to a customer. You can either create a complete new contact, then you have this pop-up. You see here, I'm on a new create contact with name, last name, job title, email, and phone. And then you're pretty much done. It will activate the contact and put it on the customer with a reference to the customer. So that's one way. If you're already having a contact, then you can use this select contact and you will choose between existing contacts and you can search for them and just add existing contacts to the customer. So it's pretty much the same as before, but then now with, I think, an easier way of especially adding new contacts, but also a better way of searching and adding existing contacts. And also this edit of existing contacts in the grid. So yes, you can add existing or create new ones, and it's easier to handle them. And the filter possibilities should also be improved. What we have done is we have changed department is now called category for those using this. So your values from department should then be now found in the category field on the contact, just as you know it. Yes, then we have the shipping addresses. Not much is done here. Like I said, you will always have an invoice address on the customer information. This will always be presented also in this shipping addresses view. It does not have to be the default, of course, but it will be here. And if you change it one of the places here or in the key data, then you will it will change both places. And you can switch default by using these, clicking these round boxes, these radio buttons. So I think it's pretty much as before, but we know that some of you need more searching functionality here. If you have a lot of addresses, now you have pretty much a possibility to search on every field in address. So that should be a good quality enhancement for those who are needing this. So there you can, like other places, you can just use the space bar to see all available fields for searching and filtering. Okay, transactions. For those who are using this a lot, you will remember that we had something called backlog before. This is now removed and it's now replaced by sales orders. In backlog, there are a lot of documents. You have sales orders, you have service orders, you have CSA in different states and stuff like that. So we decided to take this away because it was not correct before either. It didn't show the complete backlog, so we removed it, and now we have these sales orders shown here, and we have billing, quote requests, quotes, shipments, and rentals. So we have now moved it out in different tabs instead of having these views with changing views and drop downs. What is missing here now is service orders. Not too many of you are using it, but we don't have API for that, so we're waiting for those. I hope it's not critical, but yeah, those are not added for now. But okay, we have sales orders, we have billing. This will be both sales or sales customer invoices and also credit notes, both of them. And there will be a column here showing what kind of document it is. This will be added before release. Yeah, we have quote requests, quotes, shipments, and rentals. And like I said, also we have added rentals, but there is also this legacy. So you will be able to inspect them by using these clickable buttons here. And when APIs are ready, we will also add this as a standard like the other ones here, like this view for rental as well. What is better than before now is that you have now searching possibilities in all of the transactions. You can search here by standard fields and then see less information. If you want to see all data for 1 year, for example, you can then extract for 1 year. And for the finance part, billing, you can also do this by choosing date pickers here. This is not for sales orders, but you can also here filter on dates on other fields. So it should be more user-friendly now to use these transaction tabs to see data available on the customer. Not just to see everything that is here, but you can then choose what to see. Okay. So yeah, we remove backlog, and they're all documents, one type of documents except for billing, which contains both invoices and credit notes with enhanced filtering and searching possibilities. And rentals will be added when APIs are ready, and also service orders will be added later on. Okay, and then over to the finance part. Like I said, APIs are not ready for this yet, so we have what we have done. We have doing these buttons to the left, showing the what we have earlier in finance. So you can click this and see the same information as in the old customer application. Access control, of course. And to the right here, we have some more key figures with the due numbers and stuff like that. That is also clickable. So these are new widgets that you can inspect data behind it with access control. So not too much to say about the finance. You can see if you click one here, you will have go to the legacy here and see that data. This is KUSPAP. Yeah. So there are pop-ups for those existing functions, transactions, reminders, due interests, and pay statistics. And then we have the collaboration. Earlier you had emails here. You could see emails that was imported from the plugin in the RamBase. So you can see in outbound emails that was imported. Now you can also see all notes that is linked to a customer. You can see all tasks that are linked to a customer. And you can see the emails that is imported. There's a new view here, and we'll do some more enhancement to it before release, I guess. You can today click it and see it. If you want to see the attachments, you can go into the files and see this. But I guess we also will make attachments available directly from this view, because now we can view the emails inside this component. So you see that the arrows are representing in and outbound. And you have the dates here, and also possibilities for searching here. We can filter, for instance, for inbound only or outbound only, and other stuff. So there are also filtering possibilities on emails that is imported. And I can also say that there will soon also be a new Outlook plugin released, where you can, as before, link and import emails, but you can also create opportunity directly from the plugin, and you can also create tasks directly from the plugin on your email account. So that should be quite an enhancement to that function as well. And at the last, you also have opportunities. You will see all opportunities for a customer that is active, and you can also filter here in the top if you want to see old ones and stuff like that. So here we will see all opportunities linked to a customer with inspection possibilities. So now you see all of the CRM is now connected together more than before, and there should be, say, even more value in using this now. Yes. And then, yes, we have the settings. On customers, there are a lot of settings, and today they are pretty much found in each tab. A lot of them are they're spread around the customer application. So now we have collected all together, and we now have one common settings tab. Below there we have 4 different tabs: the main data, document handling, finance, and sales and shipping. And for each of those, again, we have here general, classification, and blockings on the first here. So there are groupings that should be understandable for the user to see that it should be easy now to find what kind of settings you want to, say, edit or view. Yeah, like for a customer classification now, for new customers, this will be an ABC field. That's the point of this field, that you want to have an ABC classification of customers. We will also have others like trade and expenses, but ABC is the main thought behind this. And the other ones, you know, with sector and all of that. Yes, enterprise number. Document handling is before, where we can add documents to send to customers. You can add them by email, print, or you can also send them by FTP for this EHF invoicing. So what's the difference from before is now that you don't have a comma list anymore. You will have one record for each document that is going to be sent to each recipients. So it's more visible control, and the data model is finally, say, more correct. So you have these trees, and when you go to the next, when you choose what documents to send, this will be dependency. So you will only, if I choose, if I choose a file transfer protocol, I will only see this EHF document, because this is the only one we sent today by EHF this way. No, sorry, by FTP. So it's now, the data model should now cover that you only see documents that is possible to send by this send by your choosing. So I guess for email and print, it should be pretty much the same as before. And you add new ones by selecting a customer main mail address, or you choose contacts to send it to. Then we have the finance folder for settings. There we have finance data, invoice, terms, credit. So it's also here grouped, hopefully in an understandable way. Some of them have some new names, but I guess you will understand what it means. It should be more, say, make sense name now on these fields. And in the bottom you have bank accounts. And last is sales and shipping, with the groupings are sales terms, sales agreements, trade agreement. I think will go away before release. There's only one customer using it, so I think we will take it away and now add it as a customer field for that customer, because this has no functionality and it's not in use. So we want to say maybe remove it. We have the warehouse handling with the shipping handling codes, special handling, and we have shipping claims, and you have bank accounts. No, sorry, that's the only one. But what we have is a new one here, which is released these days and will be available for everybody when the new customer application is released. And this is this ship items with equal scheduled shipping date together. This means that you can control now that if you have 20 items on your sales order and 5 of them have the same shipping date, the same as a requirement date, then these will not be made available before all 5 of them are available. So if 4 are ready for shipping, these will not be ready for in pre-ship before the 5th is also ready. So then all of them must be ready to be shipped before they will be available in pre-ship. So it's a new function that is released but will be available for you to use when the customer application is released. So just remember that one. Yes, and the other ones as is before, consolidation and other things are the same. Yeah, we have been through this. And at last we have this custom field, like I mentioned. We have now the possibility to add custom fields for each customer, for each database. So you can add fields that only you, or say only you are using, and you can define them by yourself by data type, and you can also have predefined picking lists in here, that you can have a field that you can have predefined values in. So this should be pretty interesting, I guess, for some of you, that you can add new fields that is only for you and is in your special interest area. But important to know, these fields will never have any functionality. You cannot sort on columns of this kind. You can see this in the list views, but you cannot sort on them. But they're searchable, and you can extract them to reports, which are not sortable. So they have no functionality, but you can add information in them, of course. What I didn't say too much about is that when you are adding a new customer today, I can maybe show it afterwards. Then you can just enter the enterprise number and you can collect the information from Brønnøysund. I mentioned it, but I can maybe show it afterwards. That's a pretty neat function now if you are dependent on correct information, so 100% from this proof or something, the Brønnøysund. So I will maybe show that afterwards. Yes, contact, it looks like this. So now everything is in one view. You have some many choices in the top here, but these are mainly for our use in RamBase as a Jacob Hatteland. You have one view for those using external webs, that is Scanfil, Display, and AutoStore. So they will have an own CMI or a menu choice to control their users on the contact area. But okay, You have here the names and you have the category, like I said, which was department earlier. And to see what customer this contact or suppliers is linked to, you use this reference by. Then you see all links of this contact. It could also be to pair, I guess. So that should be as before, except for this one. And you have these privacy fields as before, and you have emails. And also here you can have in grid edit, you can change this email by just clicking this pencil. And also the phone, you can edit it directly into the grid here. And you can have several, but you have one default. If you choose it to output control in other document handling, then this is the one email that will be chosen. So that's the default one. That's why. Yeah, and address, well, you can add addresses in the bottom here. Yeah, so we have removed this private business part of the emails and phone stuff like that. Don't think anyone had any use for that, I guess. But of course now you can also add this, but you have to have one of them default if you want to have different addresses on a contact. So this is then a deprecated pop-up for those who are using external web applications, the three I mentioned. So they will have access to this one to still be able to edit this data. Yeah, like I said, it's enhanced GUI and it's simplified entry of data. I think it should be much more easy to use and add new data here now and edit it. And at the end, there is also now possibilities to use application translated to Norwegian. We have translated both contacts and customer to Norwegian, and a lot of the customer documents and supply documents that have these new applications GUI, you can now use Norwegian language if you want to. So when we release this, then you can also use customer in Norwegian. I think already the documents are possible to see in Norwegian for those who are wanting to do this. So if I want to add a new one here now, I can go in here and I can use this Brønnøysund. And I can say start here now by typing Jacob Hatland, and I can choose this Hatland computer, and the information will be added together with enterprise number, VAT number, and so on. So then it's pretty much, you're done. Then you have a new customer, you can activate it if you want to, and use it. So it should be pretty easy now to just add a new customer with this function. And if I want to see, it's not activated, so I'm just going to show you the Norwegian translations for those who want to see that. See, then you can see that now I've just changed language with a little hack here now, but for you it will go automatically when we release it. Then you see you have this application in Norwegian, and this will also be the same for contact. It's Norwegian, and also if you go to a sales order, I'm not using just directly here, you can see also these are in Norwegian if you want to see them.